Hello, my name is Patricia Bueno. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Let's learn together this week's memory verse, which is in Hebrews 11:31. By faith, the prostitute Rahab did not perish with those who did not believe when she had received the spies with peace. God bless you.
The story of the Gibeonites places us before a very interesting spiritual dilemma: the contrast between human cunning and divine mercy. While Rahab approached God with sincere, though imperfect, faith, the Gibeonites resorted to deception as a means of survival. Both cases show a recognition of the power of Israel's God, but the motivations and ways of acting differ profoundly. Joshua chapter 9 opens with a tense scenario. The Canaanite kings unite forces to confront the people of God. However, in the midst of that rebellious coalition, one city chooses a different path. The Gibeonites do not seek open war, but neither do they come with Rahab's transparency. The difference in their decisions reveals how the human heart can react in opposite ways when faced with God's truth. This narrative is not just a historical episode. It reflects clashing values: faith versus cunning, dependence on God versus reliance on human resources. It is also a reminder for us that spiritual decisions cannot be made based on appearances or human strategies, but always by seeking God's guidance. Welcome, my name is Augusto Palacios and this is Studying the Lesson. Wednesday, October 8th. Conflicting values. The Gibeonites shared with Rahab an important conviction: that the God of Israel was real, powerful, and that he was giving the land to his people. This similarity is key because it shows that even the Canaanite nations recognized God's work. However, while Rahab expressed her faith with an open and personal commitment, the Gibeonites hid behind a disguise of foreign ambassadors. Here we see how two responses to the same God can lead to very different spiritual paths. The cunning of the Gibeonites is presented in the Bible as an action full of ambiguity. On one hand, it was an act of prudence. They wanted to save their people's lives. On the other hand, resorting to deception shows a partial, still incomplete, trust in Israel's God. This invites us to reflect on how, at times, our decisions may mix fear and faith, yet God continues to work even through our imperfect motivations. Unlike Rahab, who acted individually and confessed her faith openly, the Gibeonites acted as a community under a planned strategy. The contrast is significant. Personal and genuine faith can transform the destiny of a person and their family, while collective cunning can bring complications, even when it seeks preservation. Faith is grounded in trust in God. Cunning relies on human logic. The account also warns us about the mistake of Joshua and Israel's leaders. Instead of consulting the Lord through the means provided, they accepted appearances and acted hastily. This detail highlights the importance of total dependence on God, especially in decisions that seem minor or that require immediate resolution. Their failure to consult is what opened the door to deception. What seemed like a diplomatic solution turned into a spiritual dilemma. Israel had sworn in the name of the Lord and therefore could not break the covenant without dishonoring God's name. Here another clashing value arises: faithfulness to an oath versus strict obedience to the command of conquest. Israel was caught between two commitments and had to bear the consequences of not having sought divine guidance first. In this episode, we find a lesson on spiritual leadership. The true leader, whether Joshua in his time or Christians today, has as a main duty to know and obey the will of God. Past experience and human wisdom are not enough. Constant consultation with the Lord is the only guarantee to avoid mistakes that compromise his people's witness. Even with their failures, the story does not end in total defeat. God allowed the Gibeonites to live, though in the condition of servants. This outcome reminds us that even in the midst of wrong decisions, God works with mercy and turns the consequences into opportunities for learning. Israel had to live with the results of their neglect, but they also learned the importance of never deciding without consulting the Lord. Finally, the contrast between Rahab and the Gibeonites leaves us with a profound truth. Both recognized God, but only sincere and transparent faith can sustain a lasting relationship with Him. Cunning may save temporarily, but genuine faith opens the door to real transformation. The story challenges us to examine our values and decide whether we will live like Rahab, fully trusting in God, or like the Gibeonites, relying on human resources that lead us away from total dependence on Him. Join our community on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X or Twitter to reflect and share. We publish questions every day from Sunday to Friday at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Your thoughts and comments make our study even more special.